I'm Steve Ryan. I'm from Bar Mills, Maine.
I'm Jim Bishop. I'm from Bar Mills, Maine.
We're partners. We've been together how many years?
Well, 35 and a little more.
35 and a little more. And we are the people that you hear about. We're radical, militant, gay activists. And it always amuses us when our opposition says that because, we're just two people. And we didn't get into advocacy for, I want to say, the first 50 years of our lives. We didn't do anything for our movement. And about, I want to say 6 years ago, a friend that we knew asked us if we'd like to go to a power summit in Boston that the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force was putting on. And we talked about it, and it was a 3-day event, and we thought, well, why not go? So we went. And it changed our lives. We got into this big room, and there was a lot of anxiety, and there was a lot of fear, and there was a lot of enthusiasm, and we put all of this stuff right on the table. And I remember the trainers looked at us and said, these emotions are who we are, and we're going to all work through them, and then we're going to get up and motivate ourselves. And we did.
What we were trying to do was there were 11 districts. There were 22 legislators that were undecided. This was a vote. They required 2 in Massachusetts. It would be 2 years in a row. The legislature had to vote to send the issue to referendum. So we had 22 districts where the legislators were undecided. We were canvassing 11 of them. I think we changed half of them in that course of that weekend. But in any event, first door I knock on, this woman comes to the door. I tell her what I'm doing, and she was amazingly polite in saying, I'm very active in my church, and my church opposes this, but I wish you luck in what you're doing. And I thought, I couldn't believe this kind of, this woman was opposed to what I was talking about, but this wasn't what I expected at all. And canvassing in that whole area was a very positive experience.
I was working on Elm Street, which is the Route 1. And I went to this house, and I looked on my little sheet, and the people were in their late 80s. And I thought, oh God, married couple, late 80s. So I knocked on the door, and this elderly French woman says, come on in. And so she said, what are you here for? And I said, I'm here to talk to you about marriage for gay and lesbian couples. And she said, what? And I said, marriage for gay and lesbian couples. Oh, that's fine, no problem. I said, well, could I ask your husband? Sure, you can ask him. He's a little hard of hearing, so he came over from the table. And he says, what is this man here for? And she said, he's here for gay and lesbians. What? Lesbians! I'm sitting there, or standing there, and I'm almost cracking up. And he said, we worked in the factories. We know what discrimination is about. Absolutely, you have every right to get married. So you can never tell. Age isn't not necessarily a barrier to this issue.
I mean, the fact that we got 47% of the vote, having never approached the citizens of the state before directly that way, was quite an accomplishment. And now I have no problem, no matter where I go, talking about who I am and the fact that I'm gay and the fact that I'm, in favor of gay marriage and all these things, if anything comes up. But just the fact that I'm gay and have a partner, and I always talk about it that way, I wouldn't have dared do that. I wouldn't have been comfortable doing that at least 2 or 3 years ago. I would have dared because I'm a brassy guy, but it would have been uncomfortable. And now it's not uncomfortable. And it doesn't make any difference. And so it's just this cohesive collection of people, quite a number, has strengthened us for who we are.
We really thought this was going to be awful, degrading, horrible work, and it wasn't. And it gave us enormous optimism. We really believe that equality is just around the corner, that our rights, Americans see that we deserve the same rights that everybody else has, and we're going to get them.